Have you heard of today's so-called culture wars? We seemingly live in a divided society with no ability to find common agreement. Each side tries to find the power to win over the other with their often symbolic cultural victories. Well, cultural wars are not new. In our lecture reading from the New Testament letters today, the Apostle Paul addresses a battle in the culture war that was impacting the church at Corinth in his day. The rich and powerful in the Christian community felt they should be able to eat the meat offered to idols since everyone knows the idols are false. But the poor and powerless in the Christian community could not really afford meat, so they condemned the practice of eating the meat offered to idols. Paul addresses the issue in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 to 13 when he writes, "Now concerning food sacrificed to idols, we know that all of us possess knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. Anyone who claims to know something does not yet have the necessary knowledge, but anyone who loves God is known by him. Hence, as to the eating of food offered to idols, we know that no idol in the world really exists, and that there is no God but one. Indeed, even though there may be so-called gods in heaven or on earth, as in fact there are many gods and many lords, yet for us there is one God the Father, from whom are all things and for whom we exist, and one Lord Jesus Christ, through whom are all things and through whom we exist." Is it not everyone, however, who has this knowledge? Since some have become so accustomed to idols until now, they still think of the food they eat as offered to an idol, and their conscience, being weak, is defiled. Food will not bring us close to God. We are no worse off if we do not eat, and no better off if we do. But take care that this liberty of yours does not somehow become a stumbling block to the weak. For if others see you, who possess knowledge, eating in the temple of an idol, might they not, since their conscience is weak, be encouraged to the point of eating food sacrificed to idols? So by your knowledge, those weak believers for whom Christ died are destroyed. But when you thus sin against members of your family, and wound their conscience when it is weak, you sin against Christ. Therefore, if food is a cause of their falling, I will never eat meat, so that I may not cause one of them to fall. Even though we today are not facing the same debate over meat offered to idols, we can learn something from Paul's response. Notice that Paul cautions against knowledge, in other words, against emphasizing through intellect and argument that your position is right. The rich and the powerful possessed broader knowledge and could see themselves as superior and therefore right. But Paul says, knowledge puffs up, love builds up. Paul therefore chooses to never eat meat, lest he harm another Christian by his cultural choice, even though he sees nothing wrong with it. He wanted the stronger Christians to respond in love, to build up the poorer Christians and join them in abstaining from meat as an expression of love and what we might call unity in diversity. May we today ask ourselves the question, why is it more important for me to be right than to love my neighbor? What is the Christian response to disagreement?